I always get more stuff to work on that I can finish in one sitting, because I dabble in one thing and then dabble in another, and then I go distract myself with, real work in life for a while, and then I dabble again, and then I find some spare time. I'm still working on a Pioneer CT A9 over there, trying to 3D print a lot of plastic parts, and that's going to be a thing. And occasionally I even sneak out and go through thrift stores just to see what's there, and lo and behold, found this. And it was really cheap because probably it's broken. Well, it is broken. All I was able to do was plug it in and see that it at least got power. It's another equalizer. Apparently, I'm going to become the equalizer person here. It's a ADC Sound Shaper, but it's a later model with a fancy spectrum analyzer on it. So let's take a look at it and see if it works. I have no idea other than I can push power on it, and it's definitely got some broken problems and issues. Too many projects that take a long time to figure out and get working because there's things to do, and I have too many distractions. But, hey, why not? Like this. Sound Shaper Equalizer, model SS-412X. Let's get it working. It's missing a few of the little slider covers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 of them. I'll have to either source some or, again, get fancy with 3D printing to create some little knobs. The hole, because each one of these has an LED under it, and it's pretty dirty. You probably can't see it, but there's dirt and dust covering all the little buttons and everything, hiding in it. The cord has been zip tied together for a very long time, so I guess that's the first thing to remedy. See if I can't power it up, see what's going on, see how functional it may or may not be. I don't trust it, because, again, don't know the history of it. So let's sneak over to my handy-dandy 10-bulb tester over there. And is it on? It is on. And powered up. Look at there! All the LEDs are working, which is really interesting, because it didn't. When I powered it up before at the thrift store as quickly as I could, the top row was out. And it had a lot to do with this LED right here, because it comes out. So apparently, there's a socket in there that needs to go. Interesting. Well, that makes me feel kind of good, actually. And you can see the display is on, and that lights up. It's a nice little thing. And you can see, well, at least I can, that, yeah, there we go. You can get some action on the thing there. So let's hook it up to something. Do I have something to hook it up with? That's the next question. So let's go to the back here and go tape 1, tape 2, line, input. Okay, this will at least tell me if it's getting a signal, which I really hope it is. Let's give it a shot here. See what happens. Not much. Oh wait, it's getting this. Hold step. Meter sensitivity. Whoop. Okay, that was working. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how it works. It's definitely playing. Meter sensitivity, step, hold, right. There we go. Haha. Yes, it does work. Dubbing. Equalizer. So, it functions. Well, that's surprising. Definitely got some work over here, because again, that LED, I can pull it out and push it in. So there's obviously some sort of connection there to deal with. I'm just playing around with the various frequencies to see what they do. And it seems to be working. Now, let's power it off and look at the inside and see what's going on. Okay, you can see from the top here, it's pretty scuffed up. At least from this angle, you can probably see the dirt collected on top of the buttons here and all the sliders and everything. The back actually looks pretty good. There's the model number, model SS-412X. No, X, just one X, no double X. I can actually go see this in the movie theaters if I had to. The underside, it's got all its feet. That's good. Let's pop the top, and I think this is going to work, which is an astounding thing to me. It has no screws on the back. It's got these. I should pay attention more. It's got the rack mounts on the side. Do I have to take those off? Yes, I do. So let's get those off, which is not exactly exciting. There's some content here. So, oh yeah, I'm going to need a collection source for all the pieces and parts. I got to stay organized. My life is not organized. I gotta do better. Nope, that's that other project. Stay organized, he says with glibness. Stay organized. There. Pieces and parts. So yeah, it's got the side mount for rack. So it was in somebody's rack, and that releases at least the front screws. That's longer. And now we go to the other side. This side you'll be able to see me do. Yep, got a rack mount. Not that I have a rack to put it in. Fantastic camera angles I give the viewer. Oh, let's be careful with you. Now that I know that LED actually works, I got to be careful with it. It's just barely in there. Let's put some tape over it. Something. Keep it. Actually, wait. These have little holders around them. This holder is broken, so let's take one of these. That was in there well, and then see if I can't keep you safe. What's going on the inside? Actually, does it open? Yes, it does. I've got some rust here. It's also, okay, ooh. That's some electrical tape and rust and corrosion. There's definitely rust right there, so the fact it's working is pretty tight. Oh, this has gotten repaired in the past, if I had to guess. Because all these capacitors don't match. Well, actually, they match left to right, though. And maybe not, although maybe so. That capacitor is not like the others. Those have been marked. These are definitely not like the others. It's hard to tell, really. I think this is just going to be a make it pretty on the front and deal with the LEDs and missing sliders. So this is a score. I'm going to have to go by that thrift shop more often, because I was in there like 2 hours before I just stumbled upon this in a stack of other stacks of stuff behind other stacks of stuff and went, hey, what's that? And when I picked it up, the guy said, hey, people keep finding that and asking about it, but nobody walks out with it. And I said, okay, no problem, I'm walking out with it. If I had to guess, something has been done to this in the past, but on the inside, it is fairly pristine. I have no complaints. This is pretty darn interesting. Got all those transistors, you got all those capacitors. This is the equalizing part. Yeah, this is just a win. Once I check all its functionality, and clean it up, I think it's just wind. There's definitely some rust and corrosion along here, but somebody tried to seal it with, it looks like Gorilla Tape of all things. That might be factory. I really don't know. Let's flip this over nicely and see if the bottom cover comes off. It does not. That's unfortunate. I mean, it would if I really took it apart. So the only way to get to underneath, the underneath, is to take the actual thing all the way apart. These ribbon cables tend to get very brittle, so I don't want to mess with them too much, especially if it's working. Might have to take the front cover off just because I need to access this LED situation, and it's definitely dirty, and it's got fingerprints on the inside part of the screen, which is unfortunate. Is that on the inside? Yeah, that's on the inside. So there's some cleaning I need to do on the inside cover of this. Okay, I guess the first place to start is just, let me see how the tape comes off. Yeah, it's definitely been here a long time because it's definitely dried up, and that's going to be terrible. I think this was added later. I really have no idea, but that's going to take some definite cleaning. It's dry and yet still sticky at the same time. Those screws have got to come off so this can come off. Each one of those little things has got to come off so the front can come off. But again, at least it works. Does it screw on the top and the bottom? Yes, it does. Does the faceplate come off without bringing everything else with it? That's the next question. I'm going to have to clean each one of these anyway, so let's take them all off. Plus I'll have to model one on the 3D printer. You are the broken one. Heck, some of these other ones might be broken. I should go back to the thrift store, and look around where this was and see if there's any of these slider buttons on the ground near it. Actually, not a bad idea, to be perfectly honest. Okay, you don't want to come off. Wow, neither do you. There we go. Watch this maneuver. I already know this isn't actually attached anymore. It just plugs in. Check that out. Okay, big piece up in the diode. Literally, it just slides back in and plugs in. But I know it works, so I don't have to buy another one. Unscrew the screws. Oh, maybe not. No, it's just a regular screw. And I completely destroyed it because it's all full of glue. Uh-oh, those are going to be hard. Leverage. There's one. Lord. There's two. I don't think these have ever been unscrewed. There's three. The one I kind of partially stripped there is going to be a pain. Okay, can I get it? Learned my lesson there. Yes, Lord. Thank you, screwdriver. You saved my collective bacon there. Okay, I'm tempted to turn you over now and loosen the other side. Lesson learned. Okay, Pioneer parts, stay where you're supposed to be over there while I continue to fuss with you. Okay, that was much easier. It's probably because it's not full of tape glue. Much easier. Much easier. Much easier. Okay, not easy. Now we're good. Now I won't cause any damage, other than the damage I cause. Please remember where those go. I think I'll continue to do you by hand, since I partially destroyed you. Yeah, these are all the same. And there's barely any screw to those screws. Now to carefully see if this doesn't come off. Did I leave a screw? I left a screw. There's always one that doesn't want to come out. Okay, this one's longer. This one's important, apparently. I'm glad I didn't take it out. It tells me a special one goes here. Okay, yeah, that one's much longer, so that one is different than the others. I wonder what it attached to. So everything on this side frees up. Everything on this side, not so much. I have to disconnect these if I want to free the front panel. And these, because that's going to come with it. Erg. I'm going to have to ponder here. Do I really want to do that? I do, because I want to get to that screen and clean it. Is there enough give there? See, that's a 3-pin. 3-pin connection, 6-pin connection, 5-pin connection. So I can just I can unattach those all I want. Where are they hardwired? That is not a clip. Yeah, that is not a clip. Those are hardwired in there. Okay, complication. These are not clipped in. They are soldered in. That's awful. So I can't unclip those. I'd have to go pin by pin. Don't want to do that. See, this is a pink noise board, it looks like. Subsonic filter and a microphone. Oh, wait, I can undo them back here. Durr. Durr, I can undo them back here. I'm so goofy sometimes. If I undo them back there, though, this is getting complicated. Okay, let's see how much give and take I got here. You are connected on this side, so you're a pain in the butt. Do you lift up, though? Looks like you would. Do you lift up and out of the way? Don't hurt anything. Yes, you will. Okay, you are just a big old collection of stuff. So let's carefully lay you there. If I am going to fix the LED issue on this end, I have to get in here, which means I have to get in here, which means I have to disconnect everything, which is here and there. Okay, it looks like I'm in for the long haul here. Hello, Dust Bunny. If I am going to be serious about this, I could at this point clean my screen pretty well. I have learned that I can make the LEDs work on the front without getting in there. I would just have to secure the LED in. Do these others unplug? They do. So these just plug in to some sort of socket in there. So if I just find a way to secure that, then I don't have to get in there, and then I don't have to do that. So I think this gives me enough access to clean the fingerprints and dirt off the inside there, reinstall this, and just go from there. So partial disassembly is my plan. Cleanup montage, at least for this. Okay, that's much better. Got to work on the rest of it. As long as I don't touch the face of that, it's really clean. Why is that so dirty? Why is that so dirty? Okay, that's an actual nick I'll have to polish out. That's unfortunate. So, an actual nick. Time for a little scratch X. I got it. Cool. Okay, I do need to get to those buttons, though, because those are filthy. See if I can't sneak around to those. Those are still pretty dirty. Much better. Let me see if I can't get this back in there. Now we get to have the fun of putting all those little holes in the little holes and everything else. Okay, you were down here. And then you have to go on. I gotta get all these little holes in the right place. There. That was shockingly easier than I anticipated. Come on now. There we go. Like so. There. You're not in. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now, just for kicks and giggles, we make sure it still works. Equalizer. Wink. Okay, that should be out until I get the other LED back in. So let's do that. There you are. Let's not lose you. Yeah, you literally just plug in. So this way. I'm gonna get you and in. That is really interesting. And to protect you, we need to put you on top. The problem with having too many projects is having too many projects. Isn't that right, Daisy? I got too many of them. Way too many of them. Okay, it's been a minute since I found this and started working on it. But I don't post on a schedule because I don't live on a schedule. It's all about work and family life first. And if I have a spare minute, I try to fix some things because I need a hobby. Here's the equalizer I was working on. I don't even remember exactly where I was on it. I know it needs a clean. I know I need to put it back together. And I think I remember figuring out how the LED display works. So that's where we are now on this. So let's try to figure out exactly where I was before I lost track of my spare time here. That's the cover. Oh yeah, I had to 3D print a bunch of these guys because it was missing a bunch of the sliders on the front. So yay for 3D printing. And here's the parts. Continue on. Need to put it back together a little bit and clean it out. So first, I should mention that the electronics were fine, which is always a good thing. Oh, there's tape back there. Again, from what I can tell, the tape was factory done. I took some off up here because a bunch of pitting and rust that I have to take care of on the cover when I put this back together and clean it all up. See if I can put it all back together, because I think that's all where I was before. I need to figure out how to do that. So the first thing I need to do is get this all lined up again, which it's not going to be easy. All these buttons. I only have, 16 sliders to line up. This will be 10 hours of frustration to get the front panel lined up with all of the buttons and snaps and whirligigs. Okay, there's all the LEDs. Stay. There is the power button and most of the LED. No, there it went. It's like you get one side, the other side goes out. There. Y'all are in. You're in. Everybody stay where you're supposed to. You're almost all in. Okay. Almost success. Success. Okay. Now for a sanity check. Will everybody turn on? And then, let's see, I need equalizer. Yes. You will all turn on. Now we just have to screw it together, clean it up. My faithful companion sits underneath me. Screws. Lots and lots of screws. In my little corner of the world right now, the most popular car color is yellow. And that yellow color of every car in existence only lasts for about another 2 weeks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And yes, I have a fancy electric screwdriver that can zip these in and out, but it's better getting them out than getting them back in. So you have to be working hard for entertainment watching somebody put back and screw in screws on a piece of electrical equipment that nobody ever really uses anymore, except for the crazy people like me who like to play around with gadgets and gizmos, especially if they have, flashy lights and sliders, and you can really screw up your, sound. But you have fun doing that. There's always one that's a problem. Here we go again. And the one long one. So let's see if this works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that makes sense. You are going to be that one. So let's do you first. No, you have to be the long one, because I remember, because you're going through 2 levels, 3 levels, whatever levels. The rest. Oh, I forgot. I need some lively banter here with myself and you, so that you stay entertained while I do boring stuff. So I could sit here and drop the screw 10 more times. That could always work. No, okay, yeah, like I said, I can sit here and keep dropping the screw many, many more times here, because why not? Or get, hand cramps. Still not. Oh, yeah, I got that one. Daisy, you're being awfully quiet down there. I guess that's a good thing. That means you don't hear the neighbors out. The yard folks. Apparently only drop screws down here. The yard folks aren't out. You've been on your walk. Your life's pretty good right now. You can just sit and snooze under my feet. Well, there it is. All cleaned up and functional. And again, thankfully, I didn't have to do much with the electronics, which is fairly awesome. This was kind of neat because it has a pink noise generator on it. So I can, put it in a room, do pink noise up to about 75 decibels, and then sit there and adjust all these so that I get the same frequency response all around the room. That's how things used to be done before. What was it? DSD, Odyssey, microphone, self-calibrating stuff. You had to actually do it. This one, it's an original slider. Another original slider. This one is 3D printed by me. Original slider. 3D printed by me. 3D printed by me. Original slider. Original, but filthy. Original, so, wait, oh, there it is. There's five 3D printed ones. These are all filthy. The very, tedious time words. I'm missing words today. I probably should get more sleep. The tedious task of cleaning, which is, so very completely exciting to watch somebody scrub little pieces of plastic to get finger goo off. So, there's always that as a draw for a video. Excuse me, Daisy. So, you sit here and watch somebody scrub little pieces of plastic you can't see on camera, and I can get up close, but you don't really see anything. Let's put an original on this somewhat broken spot here. Okay, you're on there. And now we do that a bunch more times. Started cleaning stuff on there. So, cleaned up. Where are my other kind of broken ones? I want original ones on my kind of broken ones. Okay, you're also kind of broken. But that way you stay on there. Okay. It's the sliders on the edges that seem to look like they got the most abuse. I guess I should do this first, now that I think about it. Let's put everybody up. Gotta make sure everything gets nice and clean. Because if it's not clean and shiny, it's not worth doing. Because it's all about the bling. Pretty sure I cleaned everything over there, but we'll do it again. Just because I don't remember. And I'm going to do a little Sharpie work on the corner there. So let's get the edges with original ones everywhere. Yeah, that fit much better there. Yeah. Ooh, that was dirty. That was a popular slider. I'm not sure why I go through the hassle of videotaping these. There, showed my age. Recording these digitally. But I figure there's other goofballs like me out there in the world that like to fix things. And when I start working on something and fixing it, if I can't find another video out there on it, doing exactly what I'm doing with it, I record it. Do I think I'm going to become, famous and have thousands upon thousands of viewers? No. But there might be a few of us out there wanting to see a piece of, equipment that they have stored in their garage, or they inherit from a grandparent, or find in a barn in Arkansas, or see at a garage sale and go, hey, that's kind of neat. I remember that from my childhood, and the JCPenney's Christmas catalog or whatever, and say, I want that. And then they get it home and it don't work. And they have just a little bit of skill and patience, or in my case, stupidity and bravery. Might not be bravery, but it's probably just stupidity, but and want to try and fix it. And they need to learn a little bit about it. And I can tell you, when I start, each one of these things, the first thing I do is I go see if I can't find a user manual or service manual out there. Then, take a few months to learn it. Try to figure out what's going on. I got a thing over there that, oh my God, service manual is crazy. Pioneer, state of the art at the time, cassette player, and it's got all kinds of issues. I can make it run, but kind Kind of like a mouse on a treadmill, kind of making it run. Slowly trying to figure out the circuitry and the process of how it works. Trying to model 3D plastic parts and print them in enough strength and wear and tear that they can replace the worn and torn, impossible to get plastic parts. Designing a little model like this is a heck of a lot easier than gear ratios and strength and turns and little divots here and there. But I got time sometimes, and at least access to some resources that can help me do that. So I, give it a shot, especially when you can't find too much information on about that one. Where am I? Let's see, 4 there, here. And then, wow, that one was really, ew. Somebody was apparently wiping their nose with this slider. That's kind of gross. So I got 6, so I got 2 of those. Then I can do some 3D printed ones. Always made a few more than I needed. Even got some spares. Ooh, that's not good. That is the strangest little thing. That they're just kind of plugged in. There, we got sliders for everybody. Yay! You're on, you're on, you're on. You're on, you're on, you're on, you're on, you're on. Everybody's on. Sometimes the cleanup takes longer than the repair. Okay, now for a little Sharpie work. Now don't let, this secret get out there anywhere. But sometimes when you got some little divots along your black-faced components, you can come in with a Sharpie and just touch it up a little bit, and it hides it really well, especially on the dark corners that got rubbed off and you can see the silver. So if you just kind of take your Sharpie and go along the edge, it just fills in those little teeny scratches enough that you don't see them because it's along the edge. If it's in the middle of the dial somewhere, sometimes you can get away with it, but likely not. Yeah, along a worn black edge, it's not black anymore, you can do a little bit of cover up. Always change your camera or your light angle so you can catch little goo balls. All I know how to say it is goo balls. And then you can see where there's a little bit of extra crusty stuff to clean up. I think it's a little bit of like sugar. I think somebody popped a can of something open near this, which is, highly likely, especially if you like to entertain. Another thing about stuff is you continually rearrange your workspace and then you forget where you put the stuff until you remember where you put the stuff. This is a little bit of Scratch X. See if I can't buff out where whatever this stuff is kind of left a pock mark. Let's find out. Again, it looks like spray from some sort of can opening. And I'm trying not to do it on where the silk screening is because I don't want to take that off. Rub until it's gone. I got it. Satisfaction. Seriously, Daisy? Trying to ditch me because you hear your dog friends outside? I know. You're forced to stay with me for a while longer. Now the question is, I have too many of these things. I'm going to have to finally sell something. Yeah, I know, Daisy. You're just going to have to let the workers work across the street. They're really building that house. You're clean. So let's put everybody back in the center. We are in business. Okay, now this originally had, much like the back here, some electrical tape stretching its length, I guess to help seal it off for some reason. I don't know if that was factory or clearly when this was repaired in the past or done because I think a little water got on here, but not knowing, I'm going to put some back from here to there as extra whatever it was for and go with it. Maybe it was there just to hold the screws. I really don't know. But it literally went from here, there, to there. So I am going to do the same. Okay. Now, time to clean up this. The top. And all its problems. Part that actually shows the age. Again, you can see the rust that got going here, which is right over this. which again, I think a drink. Spilled a little bit, got up underneath, and probably sprayed on the front. That's what I was just cleaning off. And there's a bunch of sticky stuff on all the corners. A little bit of paint, of maybe caulk. I don't know, but we gotta clean it all off. So let's scoot you back and do a little work here, trying to avoid chipping that paint right there, because I have a plan. But I do want to get rid of the crusty edge. And it has a lot to do with that tape I just saw a minute ago. Okay, that's pretty good. And you know what? Gray Sharpies work too. The dark gray on the silver background tends to match when mixed together. The underside coating. Really exciting stuff. Real exciting stuff. So, how's that for science? Well, that reminds me, I have a question on one of my videos about why did I do this? I need to answer that. To say, because I want to. Why wouldn't you want to clean something that you know you just fixed? Make it kind of get that, you know, out of the box feeling. I definitely need to get this goo off, whatever that is. The old fingernail method. Slightly sticky goo. Just rub off, and ew! Thought I saw there for a moment an image of an old sticker that must have been on there, but maybe not. Remember this stuff! I want to seal off the little bit of rustiness that's gotten underneath the powder coat. Hide a little bit of age, like we all would like to do, by covering it up. We'll start on this side. Not the most elegant solution, but I think it's a good one. At least I'll know in a few weeks whether this is a good idea or not, because I think it'll pinch nicely with that, and it'll be hidden behind the lip of the front cover. Let's see how that turns out. We're in the end game here now. Keep your workspace organized. Keep your workspace organized. I'm trying to learn a new mantra. Instead of throw it here, throw it there. Keep your workspace organized. Try to keep your workspace organized. Daisy, you're judging me. I can tell right now. We are clean. Well, actually, we'll pull you forward and then shift cameras so that when you see this go on, you see it go on. And that nicely blends there and does provide a little bit of a seal. Definitely in the end game. Definitely in the end game. Are these all the same? They are all the same. And I don't even have any screws left. All I have are those two little extra slider things I printed. Cool. That means I've managed to find everything and put it where it's supposed to be. So there's this side and this side. I guess I should clean the back side too, now that I think about it. Now I can go the fellow that I picked this up from in his thrift shop. Hey, guess what? I got it working. You want to see the video? He probably doesn't want to, but hey, I told him I like to find things like this and fix it up. And as promised, it has been found and fixed up. And it's all purty. Except the back, which I am going to clean now, because I forgot to. Along with the cord. All cords should be cleaned as well. Should have still, yeah, I still have enough on here. Benefit of cleaning my mat here, too. Okay. Hey, it's switchable. Japan or here. Careful with the serial number sticker. Use it, put it up. Use it, put it up. So you don't have to search for it all the time. Use it, put it up. Yeah, that was a dirty cord. Definitely a dirty cord. Definitely dirty. Note to self, microfiber towels. I've run out, or I've taken them all into being washed. Okay, you are not a polarized plug, but that's all right. And you're not tarnished or anything weird, so you're good. And now, we're almost done. I get to the testing part. I need a new mat. I burned this one up. Scratched it up. Maybe if I actually make some money on this someday, I'll replace it. Because what is it like gamers say? More RGB, you game better. More electrostatic matte, and you fix stuff better. That's not true, but it sounds good. Yeah, recording. Yes. Yeah, that would have been terrible if I hadn't been recording all this. Only to cut it out later and not use it. Because I do that a lot. Make, 10 hours worth of recordings, 14 hours worth of, trying to edit them, and then leave it all on the cutting room floor. Done! Let's test it. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Power. Equalizer. It's not going to be set at all. Okay, I think we're good. Turn the amp on and go. What am I doing here? What am I doing wrong? You actually playing? You are. Well, that ain't good. What am I doing wrong? I'll put you guys in the middle. Yeah, line, you should be out. There you are. There we go. I just didn't know what I was doing. Yep, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. Okay, I would say it's working. Okay, so let's try and set you.